original tires on. Now, it still came with its fair of problems, 33-year-old car's 33-year-old car, but we got that taken care of. Everyone's great. That top, it's a little weird though to put my daughter in her first car and it has like no airbags, but then I figured I didn't have airbags.
Right. We survived.
I'm fine.
Yeah. Except I can't turn my head beyond this anymore.
That used to be one of the most stolen cars. But in the car thiefs anymore don't know how to steal that one.
Right.
It's all F-350
No.
and Kias.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the anti-theft device.
Yeah.
Master transmission.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's bring this to order. Are we recording now?
Yep.
Okay. All right, roll call. I'm here. Councilmember Evans here. Councilmember Watson is here. Approval of minutes.
They're good.
We're good.
Amazing.
Very good.
Good, Ryan. Good job. Thank you.
All right, just in time.
Yes. You're up.
Yeah, move on to personnel update.
Thank you.
Does anybody need a copy of the report?
I'll take one.
Okay.
I like that. Thanks.
Yes, we have 2 promotions recently. Austin Mangus promoted to Agents Worker 3 in water. Karina Scott promoted to permit coordinator. She's been back in status, so nice to see her move up into that position. Police officer, we have conditional letters. There's none on here, but we just wrote one, set one up today. For an entry level police. We have currently 2 vacancies, possibly 3. Just need to get that approved in the requisition. There's a few positions that are not yet posted that are being filled in interim. Yes. Yeah. And there's something on that letter that should be public, yeah.
Don't read it tonight.
Yes. Other than that,
We're find out what
I'd
it's
like to say specifically what that is.
Here, I'll give you back. I have to cross it out for you. Cross it out.
please wait a day or 2.
There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's all, yeah. Thank you.
All right.
Good job.
Yeah. Thank you. Discussion action items, the fee schedule update. Who's doing that? Is that you?
Me
Nope.
and Ryan.
Oh, both of you, okay.
Yep, just we brought that to you today because our public works staff would like to add. We do not have the capabilities right now for meter testing. So what we use is data logs, and what we'd like to
For what
do
testing?
meter testing.
Okay, gotcha.
The meter testing itself. So what we do is we use the data logs. Well, it's becoming cumbersome for our people to go out and do that because there's so many. So what we'd like to do is make it a $50 charge like we used to do the meter testing. And if they have a leak, we'll take the $50 off.
Yeah.
Because to us, that's what the data logs are for, is to find leaks and to help customers out. It's not to help people monitor how much water they use.
So old school, we used to be able to take people's monitors back to our shop, or meters back to our shop, and we'd plug them into a big test bench where we could actually physically run water through them and verify how they operated. We don't have that test bench any longer. What we're able to do now is actually send staff out and they can download the data from the meter, and utility building gets these great printouts that show how the water was used, the quantities, time of day, day of the month, all that kind of stuff. And then we're able to use that information to help customers, answer questions about their bills. I will say that one of the things that we want to make sure here is that this could be eliminated altogether when we go to a full automated meter reading system, because then that information could be accessible to step right at her desk.
Yep.
But until we're able to get there, we need to collect it manually by sending stuff out together.
How many requests for this do you typically get?
Well, I will be honest, it's a normal process within a normal year. It's usually between anywhere from 10 to 20. This past September, per month.
Yeah.
This past September, we did 61.
Wow.
is that their bill's too high.
And September correlates to about the time we're coming off of the.
Yep, and then when we ask them how much they're watering, well, I don't know. So we weren't leaks. I think there were 5 out of the 61 that actual were leaks. The rest of them were overwatering and, you know, had their irrigations on for hours per day.
Yeah, I know Steph has told me before, it's not uncommon to come in and have people question their water usage, and they'll be able to tell them, well, it must be your irrigation system that's on from 2 to 4 in the morning, you know, or something like that. And they'll say, no, and they'll go back and check their programming.
Sure enough.
Unknowingly, their irrigation system's running for 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
They just don't know. So
Yeah,
Helpful,
it's just,
sure.
it's an easier way for us to deal with the customers and the issues and problems, but it's becoming so onerous for our staff to go out and get those, so.
Other cities charge that?
Well, most cities aren't on fully AMR systems. They're not hybrid like we are. I know Auburn just implemented their AMR system fully, so the people now can look at their desk and go in and go, okay, this is what it is, so they don't have to send people out. The people that do, they do charge anywhere from $35 to $75 to go out and run.
I'm just concerned, and I understand, I agree with what you want to do. Again, you're already angry at the bills already. Now I want to charge you $50 to come out to your house.
Right, but a lot of times, I mean, I will be honest, I've had at least 10 or 12 customers that last year wanted the same thing, and I told them last year to stop watering so much. Guess what? They didn't. And that's it. And we're going out again to tell them that they're watering too much. So it's, you know, they either can believe us on the phone when we tell them, or they can have a meter reader stand out going, they told you last year, quit watering for 3 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's just a matter of them listening to what we're telling them.
Well, and I think it's fine, but what you're saying here, the city needs to get out to the citizens somehow, how to properly use their water in their lawns.
You know, we do need an education
Yeah,
piece.
we
We don't do that as well as we should. I
don't-
mean, we do it over the phone.
Right.
And I'm very, we're very nice about it, but I will tell people, if you don't believe me,
Right.
it says right on the Google,
Because they're
3 days a week.
telling us we're the worst city around for water rates and this and that, but they don't.
Oh, no, we just, in fact, Tom, we just did. I love this, I just did this today.
Nice segue.
Nice segue into it.
Because
Ryan and I
would love
worked
to
on
share
today.
with you that between the city of the Pacific, Ording, Gig Harbor, Fife, Tacoma, Sumner, Puyallup, Buckley, Auburn, we are, for in-city, the second or third lowest.
Wow.
Can't pick those because they're near us.
Oh, trust me,
You can twist this however you want.
you
We're
can,
lowest.
and I'm
Stop
gonna say,
listening to social media.
one of the highest cities for water happens to be right next to us, and that's Auburn.
Yeah,
You need to get that word out.
well, we've tried. I think, it would be helpful to have others also, instead of just, being willing to parrot what's heard on social media, to actually look into it for themselves. We can continue at the staff level to try and beat this back, but nobody wants to listen to us. As far as most people are concerned, the staff here are not telling the truth. These are people who once looked at Google, tracked down the address for the billing company that we were using, saw an empty lot, and were certain that we were running some kind of front for drugs, because there was no building located where Google Maps said that address.
Tell me out of that.
Yeah. So, long story short, and I don't want to get off topic here, I just wanted to show you that, it's,
Well, next year I'll put things on social media as a citizen. Wow, the rates are great out here.
There you
I'm
go.
counting on you, Tom.
Counting seven things a day on social media. No one looks at
Yeah, I know.
And actually, Ryan and Steph just put that together because the reporter for the Tacoma News Tribune just reached out.
Oh, good.
She wants to do it. Angelica, I think.
Yeah, Angelica.
Yeah, she wants to do a follow-up article on that. But we'll certainly pass that along to her and see what she does with it.
Yeah.
And that'd be something good once the article comes out to include and emails back to customers, here's what the News Tribune study shows.
Yeah. I think it's fine. You should charge. Back to your question. Go ahead and charge them. If there's a guy leak, get the money back to him.
Yeah, And that's it. You know, that's what we like the data log system is for helping people find leaks. And if we're spending more time
Okay.
trying
Busy work.
to, yeah. So,
I'm guessing they're told ahead of time, hey,
Yep.
if this is going to happen, then it's going to cost you $50.
Yeah.
yep, exactly. We just put it onto their bill as an adjustment.
And there is a plus, an additional item that's being changed on the fee schedule that I can cover here briefly. Unless you have any more questions about the data download, I can jump into that one. If not, it's the paid parking for Allen Park.
I see that.
So just a little bit of background, as you all are aware, we signed a contract to paid parking at Allen Park. That was summer of this year. One of the components to that work is deciding, well, if we're going to have paid parking, what are we going to charge? So with Leslie's help, she was able to collect from other waterfront parks throughout the region just what is being paid. Because honestly, when we first started this, what is reasonable? And we wanted to make sure that we were looking at places that are as equitable as possible or similar as possible as Allen Park. So Leslie did some great work and got a bunch of I think we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different parks here. I've got a list here to allow you to look at the data. As you can see, I mean, it's all across, it's all over the board, and different ways of setting those fees. So, some they charge per hour, some they have a block of time. What we, after reviewing this data, came back with was that for Allen York Park, what we were recommending and what the fee schedule shows on it this evening is that when you pull into Allen York Park during May 1st to October 1st, we're pitching these as seasonal. You would pay, if you were going to stay from 0 to 4 hours, it'd be $4. If you're going to be there all day, which basically anything longer, $10. And again, that's effective May 1st through October 1st each year. I did want to take the opportunity too to look at the boat launch fees. As you know, that for residents, there's a pass they can purchase that allows them to be able to launch and park as often as they want during the summer. So during that same time span, I did increase that slightly, just due to the fact that we have rising costs in taking care of the parks as well. So I increased that from, I believe it was 30. Well, it's actually right here. It's 30 plus sales tax. I think with tax it came out to 32 and change. Increased that to 40 plus tax. I also increased the payment that would be made at the kiosk for anybody who does not have a pass. So that would be for non-resident folks for sure. People who come up to use the lake that are not residents of Bonney Lake would pay $20 at the kiosk to launch their boat, and then they would pay on top of that a fee to park. So that is the rates that are being proposed. Some of the thought behind this, frankly, is, as was discussed previously, this is a means to hopefully control the volume at the park a little bit more. And sort out some of those bad actors who are showing up who don't want to pay, who just want to show up for free and occupy a parking space all day long. Hopefully, this will also offset some of that as well. So that's where we landed on fees. That was the thinking behind it. Those are included in the fee schedule that is in front of you this evening, as I said. If you have any other questions, definitely would welcome them.
I've got two. One, special events like concerts in the park. Same goes.
So we need to talk about that a little bit. The boat launch obviously is closed, so that's one issue for those. I think that's a policy decision. Do we want to open up parking for free for events or not? Yeah. Again, something that I think would just be a policy discussion, and we could certainly.
Yeah. What would you charge them?
What was that?
What would you charge them for the rest of the event?
I would just leave the cost the same as it is now.
And then
the other thing, sorry, just to tag on to that, Justin, is that the software behind the Wayleader system allows us to generate use codes. So we could say that during special events, if you show up at the park, use this code, you enter it in the app, and parking is free or discounted or something like that.
the second is enforcement. Car pays for 4 hours and it's there hour 7. How do we know that that's expired fee?
So that's something the chief and I are actually going to be talking about a little bit tomorrow. The way leader system, we do have access to actually go in and see by license plate how long vehicles have paid for, what they paid for, how long they're there. Obviously, you observe that, and then the enforcement mechanism of citing them or whatever it is can be done at that point.
Is that with like an automatic license plate reader?
No, it would just be going into the system and looking it up. It wouldn't be using any sort of automated system.
To be an honor system to pay, essentially.
Yeah.
It is.
And maybe you might know this more than I. The Ruston, the parking structure at Ruston, I believe, uses some sort of automated.
Yeah, I think their
License plate.
enforcement has an automatic reader on their car.
Yeah.
And then you have, I think they give you 2 hours of parking if you go out to one of the restaurants.
Yeah.
They have a tablet if you enter your license plate number.
Yeah, and then that clears.
Validation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to put more on you guys by having to run license plates to get, takes down
I
$4
thought-
or $6.
We had talked about before, maybe I assumed that the officers actually would see it on the car. They could tell which ones weren't current, without having to check each car when they go through. That seems very a problem because they're busy as it is.
So there's a significant cost to go with some of that hardware, from what I understand, and talking with the Way Leader and some of the others that we've been looking at prior to them. So if that is the direction we want to go, certainly Brian and I can talk, and I suppose it could be part of the budget request moving forward.
A lot of time during those times, you've got officers that are assigned.
Gosh, sorry, Mark.
I'll just stand up.
I didn't even realize I was doing that. Mark.
Bald guy with a badge. I mean,
Yeah.
Just say chief. That'd be
we all look alike. Sorry.
Don't worry about it, Ted.
Yeah, thank you.
Call me Jason. That's what most people are.
I think a lot of times when you're worried about doing this is when there's an officer typically assigned to the park anyway, as an off-duty gig or whatnot, so they could kind of handle that. It's not taken away from guys who are out on the street answering calls, that kind of thing. I would be interested in, the free aspect for an event, or like your kids playing a game at the field there type deal, that they would get a pass or something that, so they could go watch their kid and not have to pay the fee. I would be interested in that.
That is another thing that we talked about, was for if an organized league does rent a field, that with that they get a code that they can distribute to their parents, whoever it is that would maybe want to attend the game, and that code would be good for that game on that date,
Right.
so that they can't spread the code around and use it all the time. But certainly that could be part of that.
Yeah.
What's the infraction for that?
I believe it's $250.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, that was increased, I think, this past summer, wasn't it?
When we did those restricted parking areas around the on-air park. Part of that.
There was one project I did in Seattle on First and Pine, and I always parked illegally because the ticket was cheaper than parking there all day. Yeah.
The only thing they're towing is for the boat launch area, is that correct?
Say that, I'm
The only
sorry.
place they're towing on a regular basis of cars in the boat launch area.
Well, certainly Mark could talk to this better than I. But I think in the past, the previous chief was towing from the boat trailer parking area, and then also along Bonney Lake Boulevard, the staging area. But I don't know that there's like anything in code that specifies you can only tow from. I think
Yeah, I
tow
think you
from
can go from
anywhere.
anywhere. I think it's just discretion at which officers call it in or not.
So that's all I got on that. Provided that is acceptable, then I guess this question is, does this go to consent?
We had it on slated for the November 28th meeting.
Is that that's a meeting?
Yeah.
It's a workshop? Okay. I'm okay with that. What do you guys think?
I'm good.
You guys good? Okay. Great. Good to go.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Or not.
I think what
I mean,
people are
they
going
can
to
pull
want.
it if they want.
Yeah, that's true.
Consent's fine.
Yeah, let's do consent. Okay. Moving on. Thank you. Open discussion.
That's all.
All right,
Well, good, easy.
I don't have anything. So with that, I guess we're adjourned. Thank you.